Let's see if it records. Is it recording? Beautiful. All right, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mandy. I am one half of Apologies. No, Apologies Inc. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I just changed the name and removed the no. No Apologies Inc. I'm one half. Sam is not here today with us, but I will be teaching you this class. And this is an entire class series on how to live unapologetically, which, just to be really fucking clear about what that is, living unapologetically, living the no apologies lifestyle is being able to just do whatever you feel like doing in the moment. And not only that, it all gets to work out. You unapologetically. That means nothing's wrong with you. There's nothing to be sorry for. There's no issue. There's no consequence to your actions. There's only experiences that are happening because you're you, and none of that has to be a problem. We call this lifestyle, we call what we follow with our feelings and what we feel inspired to do in the moment, our intuition. And when you follow your intuition, you can create all types of shit. You can create whatever you want in your reality. But you have to be willing to stop apologizing for your fucking existence. So this entire class series is showing you the different things you can do every single day to stop apologizing, to start following that inner feeling, that inner knowing that's always with you in every moment. You've just convinced yourself so far away from it that you're like, why am I living the same day over and over again and nothing feels like it's fucking working? Because you're too fucking smart. Okay, really, that's what it is. Ironically enough, these classes are not to make you smarter. They're to get you to fucking feel something and get you back into your body where you have this innate feeling of knowing exactly what to do in your existence. And step by step, we're getting you back there. So, again, my name is Mandy, and in today's class, we're gonna go over like your why nothing like out of this world happens to you. Like really why and how this is connected to your emotions and your feelings. Why you can't just pop $1,000 out of thin air. Why you can't just fucking have someone come up and hand you a house for free. Why you can't like literally just manifest shit at the snap of your fucking fingers. Now, disclaimer. It's not that you can't do that. In fact, it's not that you can't do all of that literally today. You just have to do exactly what I just talked about. Get out of this logical world that you've built up and get into your feelings. So, we were just going over yesterday's assignment before I started recording this. And yesterday I gave the assignment to pick two emotions, two, that you experience or that you struggle to experience, either way. And write down a list, sit there with yourself and notice and observe and pay attention to what it is that you find as an acceptable way to express that emotion and what's an unacceptable way to express that emotion. And we got a lot of interesting responses here. But you can ask yourself that question right now. I mean, it's not going to take you long to remember. I mean, just think about the last time you felt extreme joy for someone, extreme amounts of love for something or someone. What was acceptable for you to do in that moment? Were you feeling like, oh, I can't be too lovey-dovey because that's gonna make me like really cringe and like appear like I'm, I don't know, doing too much? Were you like the last time that you experienced extreme anger, did you want to go fucking slam the doors in your house and freak out, but you instead sat in your room just fuming, freaking out, rocking back and forth, not sure what to do? Because that was acceptable. One of the responses that I got, cringe, yeah, exactly. One of the responses that I got, I'm not going to read every single one of them on the list right now, but thank you for your answers, was that I always make sure that nobody feels uncomfortable with my emotions. So interesting. I try to hide it Or if I start to cry, for example, I try to stop it as soon as I can and tell everyone I'm fine. Let's just start there. Okay, let's start right there. Have you ever felt the urge to cry, to sob, to weep, whatever you want to call it, and held yourself back from it? Put it in the chat right now if you've had this experience. You're somewhere, you're doing something, something triggers you, something happens, and all of a sudden, huh, the tears start welling up in your eyes, or you feel that it's about to come, and you're like, put it in the chat. I do it during movies all the time, okay? I almost choked myself out holding back tears watching Inside Out too. Perfect example. I'm just recalling all the times I've had people tell me to get out of my feelings. Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. All right. Let's flip it around. Have you had the experience where you were, yes, but most of the time I end up crying anyways? Interesting. Okay. Have you had the experience where you're with somebody who is about to cry and they're holding back tears and you can tell that they are, right? You can tell that they're holding it back. You know they want to cry. You can tell, you can feel it, you can sense it, and you can tell that they're holding it back. Have you had this experience? Put it in the chat. You were with somebody, some shit goes down, they're in their feelings, they start telling you a story, they stop midway through, they're like, yes, 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 often. Now, I'm curious what your answer will be to this. When that happens, you got somebody in front of you who wants to cry, and they're holding it back. What is your reaction to that? Yes, I gave them permission, and he cried first time meeting this big sexy guy. Okay. So your reaction is to give permission. Like it's okay. Like you're literally saying it's okay, you can cry. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay. Now, curious, is that your typical reaction, Sharonda? I hope they're holding it back. Okay. I usually try to ignore it so they don't feel put on the spot, like to give them privacy to process. I encourage them to, or some people, I don't want them emotional. Interesting. All right. So now I got to flip it back again. We're just going to flip back and forth between perspectives. So you just got to follow along with me. And I want to preface this by saying, do not try to understand what I'm saying in this class. Okay? Do not try to understand. Do not try to get it. Do not try to make sense of it. Just pay attention to how you feel about what we're discussing. Because this is all just awareness of your feelings. So you don't need to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. And logically that makes sense, Mandy. No, that's not what we're here for. Okay? So we're gonna flip it back again. Now, you're in the position where you fucking want to cry. And you just want to cry. and you just want to like let it out and express yourself. And somebody gives you the space to do that. And they're like, you know what? Just cry, dude. Just let it out. They don't take it personal. They're not offended. They're not trying to fix you. They're not trying to be like, oh, like it's okay, like you don't need to cry. They're just like, just say your piece. How do you feel when you think about that? Somebody just being like, just let it out. Just let yourself express. And I'll just be here. I'm not going to try to change you. Supported. I feel supported. A little relief. Okay. A little relief. You're in the middle of your feelings and you're just like, oh my God, I just want to sob my eyes out. And you got somebody who's there who's just like, you're good. Just feel. I'll be here. Let it out. It feels suspicious. Interesting. Sammy, I'm curious, since you didn't answer the other question, what is your reaction when somebody's holding back their tears? What do you do? They're holding in their emotions and you can tell and you're like, oh, what do you do? What's your reaction? For me, it depends who I'm with. Sometimes I like it and sometimes I feel uncomfortable. Interesting. Okay. I let them know I'll sit with them and they can say as little or as much as they want to. Interesting. Okay. So you're fine with being there and just being like, hey, it's okay, do your thing. You can say whatever you need or don't. I'm here. But then from the other side, if it's you and somebody says that to you, you're suspicious. Just to be clear, right? That's what you're saying. You're suspicious if it's the other side, right? Yeah, okay. So then this is quite interesting. Now, not only do I hear a lot of rules. Oh, if it's somebody I know, if it's somebody who I feel comfortable around, I could feel relieved, but I'm also going to feel embarrassed. Depends who I'm with. Not only do we have a lot of rules here around this, but there's a lot of, it's like conditions, right? It's like, oh, well, I could, but it might feel a little suspicious if it was the other way around. So I want you to just imagine for a second that you lived in a world where none of these rules existed for you or the other person. Okay? No matter what is happening, it does not matter. You are allowed, both of you, and it's just completely normalized to just express your emotions however you see fit in the moment. And it's just normal. There's no rules. There's no rules. It's like if you want to cry, you're never going to hold that shit back because it's just part of your experience. It's accepted. The other person knows. They're like, yeah, that's what you do. Because then when they feel like they're going to cry, they just fucking explode. They let it out, right? Okay, after following phase two, I started to feel it's really hard to hold my tears. I don't know why. Okay, got you. It's hard to believe someone else has the capacity for my feelings when I can't get a grip on them myself, I guess. Okay, I see what you're saying. And I still raise you the question. You live in this world where it's just totally fine, anything goes, and it's completely normal. You're free to express however you want in any moment. You can say whatever you want, you can cry, you can scream, you can yell, and the other person is not going to take it personal because they're like, you're just having your life. Like, it's totally cool. Then on the other side, they also get to do it too because you get both, right? You can't have one without the other. So they get to express, say whatever they want, and you know it's not personal. Just the thought of this world, how do you feel? What's your initial immediate reaction to the idea of just pure unbridled self-expression where nobody's holding themselves back at all? For some emotions, I can imagine a world like that, but others like anger, I can't. When I was younger and expressed anger, I would be physically beaten by my parents. I have experienced that expressing anger is not safe, so I'm struggling with that. Okay. So, how do you feel when you imagine that? Terrified. Relief. Interesting. Like that's a terrible idea. Okay. All right. It'll get me killed. Okay, so you're just immediately like, nope, shut down, terrified. I would enjoy it so much, would feel free. I feel at ease. Okay, Raven. So we got a lot of relief going on here. I didn't like the consequences of my anger growing up. Now, I'm glad you raised the opposite point because we got both here. I've got terrified, we've got relief, we've got ease, I would enjoy it so much. Anybody else? Sammy, you got one? How would you feel? How do you feel even just thinking about it? A world where there's just free expression and it's never taken personally. What was the question, Sharonda? I said, imagine a world where everybody gets to express themselves however the fuck they want, and the other people don't take it personally. It's just normalized. Oh yeah, I'm down. It would be refreshing. Now, Raven, I'm glad you brought up what you said because that is exactly why miracles are few and far between in your life. At least the way that you perceive it. Everybody likes to say, I want abundance, right? Oh, I just want abundance. I want to feel this overflow of abundance. I want to have miracles happen. I want to be able to travel wherever I want. Don't you want to travel? You want to travel. You want to have unlimited money. You want to eat all the good food in the world. You want to have deep, meaningful relationships where you feel seen and heard and supported and loved. And, it's just like this fucking buffet of feelings every single day where you're just, nothing is off the table. Everything, you have access to literally everything at the snap of your fingers. Right? Oh, I want to manifest $1 million by just thinking high vibrational thoughts and feeling my way into my desired reality. So everything can just shift like that. Okay, well, I'm ready for my free house. How do I feel my way to the experience? I mean, I've been feeling what it feels like to live there. Demonstrating my point perfectly, right? You want the free house. Now, what if the free house came with strings attached? What if to live in the reality where you have the free house just handed to you on the silver platter, where your experience is like, here you go. Here's a free house for you. You don't even have to pay the property tax. It's covered forever. Everything's done. All your bills are covered. What if to live in the world where free houses pop out of the sky, you also have to live in the world where the person who gave you the free house may show up and have a crazy outburst and start expressing themselves and yelling and throwing shit and freaking the fuck out. And you have to be willing to be like, okay, that's your journey. What if to live in the world where you have the free house, you also live in the world where your free house can get taken away from you just like that? Do you still want your free house? What if to live in your world with your free house, you have to be willing to unabashedly, unapologetically express your feelings and your truth 24/7 with no holds barred? Do you still want the house? You get the free house. You get your whole life paid for. Let's even go as far as to say it's all your bills. It's all your bills, all the food you want, all the travel you want, all of the relationships, the friends, the money, the cars, the house, the clothes, the shopping trips, everything. You get it all. Okay, you get unlimited access to all of it. But you have to be willing to 100% of the time follow your feelings and express yourself emotionally, outwardly, how you feel inspired to do, with no moments of holding yourself back at all. What about that? You got a different answer? Or are we still there? I mean, that sounds nice. It's not about what it sounds. You're moving way past what I'm saying. You're moving way past what I'm saying and doing exactly what I said not to do in the beginning of try to figure it out. I'm just asking if that was the stipulation, would you take it? Would you take it if that was the stipulation? If it was like, you gotta be willing to 100% of the time unapologetically express yourself in every way that you feel inspired to do, but you can have your entire life paid for and get everything that you want for it. I would love that. I'm willing to express 24 hours a day. No, doesn't feel safe. That's my first reaction. Good with the anger, da da da, but I'm not comfortable to express being loved or safe. Express love or safe. So, in other words, no. At the very beginning of this class series, that's the dream. I just don't know how to remove the automatic switch that filters me down. At the very beginning of this class series, I had someone ask me, they had said, and I don't remember who it was, so if you're in here, great. I struggle with seeing that it's all me. That's the thing I struggle with the most, is seeing that it's all me. Seeing that it's all me, that's the one thing I struggle with the most. The things that you desire, the house, the cars, the clothes, the traveling, the relationships, the everything that you look at out here in the glitz and the glam, your ideal, perfect life, whatever you could imagine it to be, where you're just like, this would be heaven and I would finally be able to relax and just be myself and be okay, is all literally just a reflection of how willing you are to let yourself express your own feelings unapologetically. Because to live in the world where anything can happen, your miracles can happen. Something like, for what you're talking about, Raven, a miracle of it being safe for you to express however you want and not get beaten or hurt. You have to also be willing to accept that there is a reality and that you've lived through a reality where that did happen. You also have to be willing to accept the way that everyone else gets to express themselves as well. Every time you put someone else in a box and you say, this is okay to express, this is not. This way of being is okay, this way is not. All you're doing is building your own gilded prison and hoping that you get enough toys, enough houses, enough cars, enough fucking trips to Jamaica to finally have it pay off. That you are in a cage of your own making, that you can't express yourself the way that you feel inspired to do in any moment. Because I'll tell you this, and you can pay attention to how I feel, how you feel when I say this, because it's not just about what I'm saying, it's about how you feel. When you look around and say, well, I can't express that emotion, but I can express that, you're just as limited in your expression of that as you are in the one you said you couldn't express. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Somebody could walk up to you and hand you the keys to your house today, literally today. Be like, here you go. This is your brand new house, and it's fully yours forever. You don't have to pay a single penny. It's just yours just because you're you. And you know what you're going to do? What? Well, okay, what are the strings attached? What's in it for you? What am I going to have to sacrifice to get this? I'll tell you a quick little story about this. Something that I had always wanted to create. I was a massage therapist for 6 years, okay? And I loved giving massages. I loved it. It came so naturally to me. It was like fucking breathing, to just touch people and give them this relaxing experience. I used it to connect with my partners. I used it to connect with people who are complete strangers. Like, it was just my thing. And I didn't quite receive massages as much as I would give them. Not even close, not even remotely close. Um, but when I got them, I also really enjoyed getting massages. But for years, I had always had this dream. I was like, it would be so fucking cool to have somebody who loved massaging me. So I could get massages like once a week. Like that would be so awesome. Or to be able to afford getting massages once a week. But even that was like, okay, well, I still have to pay for it. Like I wanted somebody who just loved touching me. Like really, that was my dream. That was like my thing I would fantasize about. And because I would feel that towards my partners that I was with. I'd give them massages all the time. I loved touching them. I loved it, loved it, loved it. But I never got the same thing back. Now, very recently in my experience, I have someone who does absolutely love touching me. It's a more newer development over the past like year of my life. And this person will literally go out of their way multiple times per week to be like, get on your massage table, I'm giving you a massage. And they love doing it. They love it. They absolutely love it. They love like learning new techniques and getting better at it and having me teach them stuff. And like, they're just obsessed. They love learning my body. They've helped me so much with all kinds of stuck emotions I had in my body. And I feel like I'm in the best physical shape that I have been in literally like, I don't even know, years. But this person, I give them massages every once in a while too, but it's only like maybe once every 2 weeks. And they're giving me massages like multiple times a week. And in the beginning of this whole arrangement, I was just kind of like, well, it's not even an arrangement, it's just happened organically. But in the beginning of it starting, I was like loving it and I was like, this is amazing, like this is so fun. And then I started to kind of like shut down. And I started to feel guilty and I started to feel like, oh, like maybe I need to do more for you. And each time this person would give me a massage, they would tell me, thank you so much for letting me serve you. And I was just like, no, like, thank you. Like, what are you talking? You know what? Why are you thanking me for doing it? And I was coming to this realization without realizing it that I loved getting massages more than giving them. I did. And I was like, oh, I don't want to accept this about myself because it's so selfish, right? Oh my God, I love getting them more than giving them. But this started to cause me to have some tension in this relationship where I would get offers like, okay, I'm going to give you a massage. Get out your massage table. I want to give you a massage. And I'm like, oh, well, it's your turn. Let me get you on a table instead. And they're like, no, I don't want one right now. Like, I want to give you one. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe, okay, that's fine. But like, maybe then later today I can give you one. Like, if you want one later. Like, I start going into this like people pleaser, like I'm uncomfortable mode where I'm like, I can't accept this much receivership or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it got to the point where this person literally had to sit me down and be like, stop. Like, you need to stop. I don't want anything from you except to be able to do this for you. Like, I enjoy doing this for you as much as you enjoy getting it. I wouldn't do it otherwise. And to let myself finally accept that and like really lean into the fact that this is my life. Just because I'm me and this person likes being around me and they like massaging me. I get to live a life where I have the thing that I dreamed about for 6, 7+ years. But you know what that took from me? That took a lot of getting the fuck over myself. That took a lot of being willing to be like, oh my God, if I'm living in a world where logically nothing makes sense, that means nothing makes sense. That means my relationships, who knows what they're going to look like? Because it's not going to be this transactional, oh, well, it's even all the time. Oh my God, well, since you did this thing for me, now I'll do it for you, blah, blah, blah. And you constantly feel this trade back and forth. That was the relationship and that was the experience that finally, for me, broke the illusion and showed me I will never, ever, ever be able to know what someone else gets out of the experience of being in my life, ever. Being around me in general. Never. And we're talking somebody who has seen a lot of sides of me. You may already know who I'm fucking talking about. But anyways. Yeah, except that you don't know shit about how people feel. Exactly. Exactly. And you don't know how they're gonna act. He was acting completely outside of the norm of how I had interacted with anyone in my relationships in my entire life. I was like, I have never been around someone who wanted to like serve me like this. I've never experienced it with never asking for anything in return. I didn't know how to process it. I did the same thing. I told the same stories of, oh, there's got to be a string attached. Oh, there's got to be, some type of issue. I have to come up with a problem. But to get to the point in your life that you say you want, you're here because you're like, I want intuitive money. I want intuitive experiences. You wouldn't be fucking here in this class right now if you weren't wanting to express yourself and be able to just get appreciated for who you are and existing as yourself. But you have to see this, that the rules that you place on your experience for what's acceptable and what's not are what is getting in the way of that. And the things that you say you want come along with a lot of feelings that you have to be willing to feel. And those, a lot of times, are really just the feelings of appreciation for yourself. Because to be the version of you that gets all of your shit for free, to be the version of you that gets all this abundance, to even create a reality where you would allow that, you have to allow yourself to be the person and appreciate the person that you are. So what's the deep-rooted fear you had? I have no idea. And it doesn't matter. That's the other whole point of this. It doesn't matter. The point is to become aware of the fact that you are even telling yourself these stories in the first place. You don't have to dig up your fucking childhood and hang on to stories from 20,000 years ago. You don't. You just really don't. You can. You can live that life where you're so attached to the past. But you could also just look at your reality right now. To be willing for me to let that appreciation in and let myself be appreciated in that way that I had always dreamed of, I had to also be okay with not knowing what was going to happen. Not knowing if one day he's just randomly going to be like, okay, I'm done. Not knowing if one day he'd cash in and be like, you know what, I did all this for you, now what? Because when you live in a world of unknown where anything can happen, you have to be okay with not knowing what's going to happen. It just hit me because I've been rejecting receiving breakfast for free every day from my boyfriend because I felt uncomfortable, or maybe I'll make him broke this way. So, yeah. Yes, Raven. I just let myself feel the feeling. That's it. And as you feel the feelings, you'll notice the stories just start to fall away. Or maybe you hear them, but you decide to not put all your fucking energy into it.
It's not different fantasy.
Just like, fuck it. I'm gonna wrap this up because we've already been on this class for a while now. There's so much we could talk about, okay? We went on about 27 different tangents today. But the assignment I'm gonna give you is to imagine that you have your dream thing. Pick one thing you would love to have, okay? It could be literally anything. Doesn't matter. Your free house, Sharonda's like, I already got it. You're welcome for sharing the story. I got a lot of stories, so we can keep going with those in the future classes. Your assignment for today, pick one thing, okay? One thing you would like to create for yourself. Something that sounds ridiculous, okay? It has to be something that you're like, there's no fucking way that I would just get this. Because that's how it was for me with the massaging. Oh my God. It's like, why? Oh, do you want me to like suck your dick? Like, what do you want? You know, like literally, these are all the thoughts that went through my head. Like, there has to be something that you want from this. Something that is just ridiculous to you. It doesn't make sense. You're like, there's no way I could just receive this. Okay? You're welcome, Sharonda. You're gonna pick that thing and you're gonna sit and you're gonna feel all of the feelings that come when you sit there and you imagine getting this thing for nothing. For nothing. You're just receiving it just because you're you. You don't have to do anything for it. You don't have to squeeze yourself into a square peg into a round hole. You don't have to go work 30,000 hours for minimum wage for it. No, you just get it because you're you. You just get it gifted to you. I want you to imagine this happening to you and feel everything that comes up. If you start seeing like, oh, blah, 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 this might come up and you get all these visions, oh, well, it would happen, but then they would do this to me. Anything that comes up, you're going to sit and you're going to feel this until you get to the point where you're just like neutral. Okay? Anything that comes up until you get neutral. The house I have my eye on is 2.6 million. I'd like to receive 3.5 million to cover anything. Okay, here's the thing. You can say money, but you don't actually have, you might have a hard time imagining the money. So you're better off picking something you would do with the money and imagining that. Because just imagining the money, it's basically like imagining a credit card versus imagining the vacation you're going to take with the credit card. You feel what I'm saying? You picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? It's the house, all expenses, personalization, furniture, and a car to park outside. Okay, so all of it. You're gonna feel through literally all of it. If your immediate thought was, oh, money, go ahead and take some time to sit down and write down a list of what you use all the money for. Because the thing is, nobody just wants a fucking bank full of money to do nothing with it. You don't. It's a byproduct. It happens on its own. But you don't actually get your whole like physical vision, feelings, imagination flowing from just envisioning numbers. You don't. You might get it for a second, but it's going to be very short-lived. It's like when you get paid and it's very short-lived. It's the same thing. So imagine yourself living the life, having all the things that you would do with that money. And you're gonna really let yourself feel it. And I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay very close attention to when you cut the feeling off. At what point do you go, ooh, okay, that was enough? And what happens? Buying a private resort, nice. Okay, let your imagination run wild and come tomorrow. And I want to hear first thing at our class tomorrow, what was the moment that you cut yourself off and what happened? All right. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye. Yes, Sammy, like making a dream board in list form and then meditating on it. Literally just sitting there and imagining the thing. If you feel like you need a picture to represent it first, go for it. That's fine. Whatever works for you. There's no like right or wrong way to do it. There you go. Yeah, pictures help. Okay, perfect. Cut yourself off. My Sam, what I mean by cut yourself off is like the moment that you're feeling all of these like pleasurable feelings and ideas, and you go, okay, that was enough. The moment where you're like, "Whoop, okay, we're done with that vision. Okay? All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.